Alrighty, let's do drop down boxes and request for quotes and samples. So we're headed to request for quotes and samples by clicking on that module. Now we're going to add a request for quote and sample. Okay, drop down box is assigned to, that's obvious, it defaults to you, but if you wanted to assign it to someone else or to a department, then you would go ahead and do that here. It's going to be, excuse me, a list of everyone who works here, and it'll also have the groups, whether it's customer service or quotes or samples. So that's that drop down. Request status. This one, what you're doing here is you're telling the system what status the actual request for quote is in. It can be not ready. Sometimes you'll start one and you'll get interrupted. And so in order not to lose whatever you've already put in there, you can go ahead and click not ready, still working. Or you can go ahead and send it to customer service. For the most part, anytime you're going to do a request for quote and or a sample, you're going to assign it to samples. Let's say you're going to do a sample, you'll assign it to samples, and the very next thing you'll do is send it to customer service. And the same thing goes when you're going to do a quote. You're going to do a quote, then the very next thing you have to do is send it to customer service. This is crucial. If you do not do these, your request will sit there and it won't go anywhere. So this is crucial. Okay, let me see what other we got. What happens is after we get it, the office gets it, then they'll change it from sent to customer service over to sent to vendor. Okay, sample department will say sample request has been sent. After you send it to samples, then they'll get it, and then they'll tell you sample request has been sent. When we get the quote back from the vendor, then we will change it back to return from vendor. Okay, revised to vendor. Sometimes you'll ask for an update on your quote request, so it'll be revised from vendor. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, the very last thing that we get to do is to convert it to a quote. Okay, so that's the request status. For the most part, just remember on your side, send it to customer service. Okay, send it to customer service and use not ready, still working when you don't want to lose whatever data you've already put in it. The next box is a type of request. You're either going to have an RFQ of some sort or a sample. For the most part, you will not concern yourself with school bid, but if you wanted to tag something to school bids, you could. So you're going to have a request for quote, which is just plain and simple. It's a regular in the stock request for quote, nothing fancy about it, okay? That's just your regular request for quote. But sometimes you need to have a contract, a POD. So you want to ask for a request for quote POD. In order to do this, you must have the volumes because a vendor will not give you special pricing unless you give him volume. So it's crucial. And you're going to have a beginning and an ending date on a contract. So request for quote POD is a contract. We need volumes and we need start and end dates. Okay. A lot of the ones that we do is request for quote custom because we do so many prints. Anytime you're going to do a print of any sort, then you'll do request for quote custom. Okay. The next one is when do they need it by? You're going to tell us if it's a normal or if for some reason you need to rush this request for quote or you need to rush this sample. So if you pick rush, then you must let us know why. This little comment box down below it that lets you give us the reason why you're asking for it quickly. It could be that your customer is going to test the product, or it could be that your customer is about to make a decision and we need to get ours in there so that they can take our product into consideration at the same time. Now, if you mark it rush, you must tell us by what day, because rush is very vague, and therefore it could be next day rush, or it could be less than 10 days rush. For the most part, a sample will take 10 days. So if you tell me rush, well, then maybe you just want it less than 10 days. So it's crucial that you put in here, no, I need it by next Tuesday. Okay, so now we know what to do. So this is really important for you to communicate with us if you want to rush. If you just want normal, then know that it's going to be out of our hands in 24 hours and into the vendor's hands. And it'll just go through the process. These, we don't have another drop down until we get here, the account manager, and that's again, it automatically defaults to you. And for the most part, this is going to be a salesperson. That's why it's an account manager. Nobody inside internally handles accounts, so this is just going to be for salespeople. And I believe that that is no. All right. So carrier, it's something that's going to be used internal by the samples department, so you don't need to worry about it unless one of your customers is diehard about using DHL. So if for some reason or another your customer says, send me a sample, but you've got to send it UPS or DHL or FedEx, then you use it. Otherwise, it's something that we use internally. If you're asking for a large volume, if you're going to quote anything, I'd say anything over 50 to 100 cases a month, then you should forecast it. You should let us know, hey, I'm going to be using about 100 cases a month. So yes, let's forecast it. And immediately, as soon as you say yes on either one of these two boxes, then you need to tell us how many. It's 100, okay, 100 a month, or just give us the annual quantity right there. So if it was 100, it would be 1,200, okay? Again, forecasting is in order to make sure that the vendor makes enough product to satisfy your customer, okay? Floor stocking is a little bit different than forecasting. Floor stocking normally has to do with prints. So if you come across a huge customer, normally it's about 200 cases a month, depending on the vendor. So if you decide to say yes on that, what this means is that that vendor is going to actually make more than requested, and he's going to have some on his floor. Normally what they like to do is share that with the distributor, so that way the vendor keeps some on his floor, the distributor keeps some on his floor, and we're able to take care of the end user. And again, in order to do that, you've got to give us the volume. How many per year are they using? Whatever the case may be. Let's see, this information right here has to do with the prints, and this drop box has to do with whether your print is random or spot. That has to do with the logo. Is the logo on a specific place, or is it just anywhere on the print? So that's random or spot. Percentage of ink. No, there's not a drop down, but you just put a percentage there. And I believe that that's our last drop down.